How's it going, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here, and in today's How to Get in the Comic Books today, we're going to go over how you could do a quick price check on the fly at that shop or at that con you're at when looking at books. Stick around. All right, so picture yourself at a comic book shop or at a con. You see a book you didn't anticipate seeing, and you ask for the price, and you think it might be too high, maybe it's too low, maybe it's right where it should be. How do you find out? We're gonna go over a few apps and tricks that I use to get a general ballpark of a fair market value using your phone. The first thing I always check is cover price. I have a link to a shortcut to the website on my phone at all times. There is an app, but I don't prefer it over the web version here. So we're gonna go ahead and open it. So we're gonna use our example of Batman Adventures number 12. So you can just search for it right here. You have to create an account for this. And after you do that, there is a paid version, which I'm using right now, but there's also a free version, which has some limited functionality. But I think the paid version is well worth it. It has inventory services, as well as this price checking ability as well, and some like top 10s and whatnot. So we're gonna pick our issue here. So we have our Batman Adventures 12, first appearance of Harley Quinn. First off, it's a really great little app here. It tells you what the key information is, the market information, first appearance. It tells you right off the bat, most common raw fair market value, which is by their definition a very fine 7.0 to 8.5, which is around 600, and most common slabbed around 1156. But that's not all we have. We have some variant information here, and you can expand that by hitting the show more button. Some more market info, but we're going to skip all this and go down to this blue area here where it says raw and slabbed across the top. Now, if your book is raw, this is the screen you want to pay attention to, obviously. Again, it gives you that most common condition, very fine, 7.0 to 8.5, around $600. But if you go down, it actually breaks it down into the different condition types. So we have near mint towards the top, which is by definition 9.6 to 10.0, all the way down to no grade or good at 1.5 and 2.5. With a little bit of training, you can understand how books are graded. There's a couple books out there you can buy which break it down into each category, so you can look at your raw copy and get an estimate about where this might be, but just know that that is subjective and that others will disagree, especially if they're trying to sell you the book, and the condition of the book obviously affects the price. So let's just say that we have a middle of the road, very fine, 7.0, 8.5, something like that. So cover price here says the estimated value is around $600 for that, and has some sales data there, 11, 17, 22. So they're estimating a little bit, in the very fine range to be around $600. So let's say that you don't necessarily believe that, or you want some additional information. You can actually go up to the top up here, and you can see where there's links to eBay and My Comic Shop. So let's check on eBay real quick. So again, we have like a very fine Batman Adventure 12. So what it will do is it'll take your search result and it'll put it into the eBay app. Now, what I'd like to do is like to refine it a little bit, especially if it's a CGC book. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to type in like 7.0 or 8. Well, let's do an 8.0 just to kind of see where that lands. Now, what you're going to get initially is you're going to get active auctions. These are auctions that have not ended yet. There might be some bidding wars in place. There might be some just insanely high buy it now prices. This is not what you want to look at. What you want to look at is the filter view. So you're going to hit filter down below, and you're going to go to show more, and then you're going to scroll all the way down until you see this sold item dial button right here. And you're going to click on that. It's going to reload for a second, and you're going to hit show 6 results at the bottom. And you're going to see what an 8.0 is going for, knowing that these are slabbed versions and sometimes can bring more value just because of the slabbing process. But let's see what we have here. We got some interesting results. We have the first couple up top, $585 with free shipping, $590 with $13.83 shipping. And then we have this random $421 with $13.50 free shipping, but note the date they were sold. So back in January 19th, it was $585, December 21st, $590, and then November it was $421. So perhaps there's some hype around this book that's coming. It's always been a great key book to have. The demand is always fairly high, but as we get closer to, the Harley Quinn animated show or the new Batman sequel that's going to be coming out with Lady Gaga, this book will probably fluctuate a lot. So keep mind of that. So we've established that this book is around the high fives, close to 600 based on this right here. And we can even go back to cover price real quick and go down to the slabs. and see if that's accurate. What do they value in 8.0 at? In 8.0, 585, 589. So that is right on par. Looks like they're pulling some of their information from there. But again, if you want additional resources, you can go back up to the top up here and you can go to My Comic Shop. So My Comic Shop is a very popular online retailer for books. They have a great back issue selection. And here's our book right here in various grades. And we can go down to what they think an 8.0 is worth. So they have an 8.0 at the very bottom here for $550. There might be some shipping involved there, so you have to check that post out, but that seems pretty reasonable for me based on current trends and value of this book. And if you want another way of doing this, you can actually go use Go Collect, which is a pretty popular website for all kinds of stuff. Again, I have a link to it on my home screen on my phone, and so you can go into here and you can type in Batman Adventures 12, and you can actually search for it from there. Scroll down till you find your copy, tap on it, and it will give you some interesting information that we didn't see previously. Now, I don't have the Pro version because I pay for enough little services like this that I don't feel like I need it, but this is another option. And as we go down here, you can see the grade on the far left, the census on CGC, the amount of sales, and a fair market value as well. So let's take a peek and see what's going on in the 8.0 range. It looks like there's a census of 152 sales recorded here, and the fair market value is around $600. Now, if I tap on that, it brings us some more information as well as some ads because I don't pay for this, and you can get a lot more information about this, about lows and highs and trends and the time frame and things like that. So it is pretty cool, and it also shows you where these things were sold. And again, if you have the Pro version, you get a little bit more information than what we saw on the previous apps over there. So you can essentially do this with any book you want. You have several different resources out there that can help you with the value of your books. I like Cover Price the most because it links out to My Comic Shop and eBay, and it also syncs with CLZ, which is what I use to help organize my comics. So using those tricks, you should be able to get a very quick on-the-fly general fair market value, which then you can use to haggle with the buyer or seller to get the best price possible. I know there's a lot of other ways to get price checks, but 2 or 3 is generally good enough to get a ballpark estimate on the value of your book. With that said, if you have additional resources that you use regularly, put them down below in the comments so we can all see what you got. Also, if you have some other general tips on this topic, put them down there as well. But as always, like, subscribe, and share, and check out the join button down below. And as always, happy reading, happy collecting, and I'll see you down below in the comments.